Hello and welcome to the morning show with me, Sybil Mulcahy.
And with me, Martin King. On the show today, desperate to work, the thousands who queued outside a Cork Work Expo just so that they can leave these shores and give their families a decent quality of life.
I was here last night, slept in the car, got up at 6:15 this morning, had the rest of the cars pulling in, so I joined the rest of them to queue here. Country's in an awful state. I don't mind where I go, it's the job, there's a good job there, good money, it's all I want, you know.
Plus we meet the family who attended the Dublin Work Expo and had a job offer in Australia within 3 days.
Find out how I got on when I dusted down my cúpla focal and took part in Seachtain na Gaeilge. And Brian, you make it as easy as possible for people to pick up a cúpla focal, even going as far as tailoring the drinks menu.
That's exactly it, yeah. We make it fun. Here's a little example of what we do. Say, for example, the famous Piunta Guinness. We have it here in Irish, we have it here in English, and then just say what you say. And I always say to people, don't think about it, just say it. So, Piunta Guinness.
See, Irish that we really need. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. We take a look at celebrity rebounds.
Plus, to mark International Women's Day, we meet two ladies who are helping Irish women raise their horizons.
Yes, now we opened up our papers yesterday to hear about this Donegal group led by a gentleman called Joe Murphy, who have decided they're setting out from Mallincrown and they're marching towards Dublin because they're fed up with the lack of jobs and the way that unemployed people are being treated.
And all the charges.
All the charges, all the austerity measures that have been put in place.
So this is just some of the motley crew. There's going to be, what is it, 7 in total?
Yeah,
and a dog.
And a couple of dogs, because they say dogs are man's best friend, and you know, maybe if the government were a little more friendly, they wouldn't need to make this march. But they're setting out tomorrow at midday. It's
going to take them until the very end of the month to get to Dublin, because I take it they're going the back roads and
they're probably not allowed on the toll roads, if truth is known.
Probably, exactly.
But they want to go through the town so that they can garner support, and they're looking for people to come out and support them, people who, just like them, are in similar positions, but they're going to be marching through.
Who are frustrated and annoyed, and so they hope to arrive up to government buildings on the 31st of March with, I suppose, thousands is what they're hoping for.
That's the hope.
And protest, and that's the day as well that the...
well, we all become criminals if we haven't paid the household charge. So,
yeah. Have you paid yours?
No.
No, either have we.
No, and we're being advised not to by other people who seem to know a little bit more about it. Anyway, that's the day when we all become criminals if we haven't paid it. But they're also campaigning against the septic tank charges, water charges. But it's also the day when the next payout has been made because of the Anglo. The
3 billion to Anglo. So there's a lot going on that day. So if you see a large group of people, join them, because I mean,
and show your support.
They'll need all the support. They mightn't be smelling as fresh as they are now today. But in fairness, it's good to see people taking action.
And the reason they're doing it is because there's no work. And speaking of, people desperate to work queued overnight to get into a Work Expo in Cork this week.
The Cork event is by the organisers of the Work Expo held in Dublin last weekend. In a moment we'll be speaking to a couple who attended the event in the capital and within 3 days got the news that they were hoping for.
But first, this is what the people who are queuing in Cork have to say about their decision to find work overseas.
For Limerick, yeah. I was here last night, slept in the car, got up at 6:15 this morning, had the rest of the cars pulling in, so I joined the rest of them to queue here. Most of the lads had no tickets, I didn't know that. I was the only one with a ticket when I came here. Been doing nothing much really. I was looking for work, there's no work out there, like, you know, bills to pay, mortgage to pay, wife, 2 kids. Well, I work in construction, like, you know, and I've all sorts of tickets, machine tickets would say, you know. Right. So anything at all, I basically do anything, like I can weld as well, like, you know, so do anything at all, like. Oh, it's terrible, sir, you know, it's absolutely unreal, sir. So it's the state the country's in, you know. The country's in an awful state. I don't mind where I go, there's a good job there, good money, is all I want, you know.
Construction, I'm unemployed now 4 years, and I was working 20 years previous to that, and I'm not expecting anything today, I'm just hoping, just going for a look around basically. And
just on a CE scheme in Clonmel, and just trying to get a bit of work somewhere. She's in Ireland anyway, so going to head off if I can. Like, doesn't be any help out there. Anyway, just this is the kind of light at the end of the tunnel now at this stage.
Well, I'm like everyone else, I was looking for work. I'm a plasterer by trade. I was in England, I was here, I was there, I was everywhere. Hopefully, see if I can get out the candy, you know. trying to look for work, like a new life. There's nothing here for us. The world is trying. No, it's a long day. I just said to the lads there, like, how do you get through the day? Like, you can only walk so far. It's just a long day. I mean, TV is worst thing in the world for your head. Oh, it's just drives you cuckoo, like. You have to work, like. I am anyway. I'm working since I'm a very young age, and I miss it. I miss it an awful lot, like. I miss getting up the crack, like, doing my job, like. Something I went to end alone, like. So.
Well, my husband and I, he's Irish, I'm South African. He's a carpenter. He had a small business, and well, there hasn't been any work for a long time. So we're looking to go to Canada, if we can. And that's the story. Battling depression. It's a very, very hard thing. But sure, there's always hope.
And you've got to have hope, but it is very, very sad to see
those pictures are very depressing, aren't they?
Really.
Absolutely.
We're joined now by the Jenkins. That's Teresa and Gareth. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. You arrived to the Dublin Expo last weekend, and similarly, you met with these queues, Teresa, to a point where you couldn't get in.
Yeah, we went on the Saturday, and to be fair, we did go a little bit late, but we thought the queue would be moving a bit quicker. And we arrived there with our 3-month-old, holding him in a carrier, so it was just too cold to stand there for 2.5 hours. It wasn't fair. So we decided, look, we'll come back on Sunday. And I felt in my heart I had to come back on Sunday, so we made the trip again on Sunday, and lucky we did.
You made a beeline for one particular guy that you saw on Sunday.
Yes, one particular guy I'd be very familiar with in a white jacket, and that is a chef. So he was there for the Northern Territory. So I seen the jacket and I went straight for him, and he was just having a break, having a drink of water, and I just told him, spilled everything out to him, and he said, oh, I'd be very interested, and we're holding interviews. So
yeah, what was your background? I mean, you're a chef.
I am a chef,
by trade, so
I went to college when I was 17, and I've been a chef ever since. So it's the love of my life, really. You know, it's the career I wanted since, you know, my mid-teens. So, you know, I knew what I wanted all my life, and I want to work at that all my life until I have to stop, and it's not possible here in Ireland at the moment.
Well, sitting next to you is the other love of your life.
That's it.
Who's also got a great love of food, and that was how you met.
Yeah.
You were working overseas. You were working in the UK, but you hooked up.
That's right,
and wound up going to New Zealand. When was that?
Lord, I was 90...
9.
No, it was 1998.
98.
That's right, yeah. I went over first in 1998, and then Teresa came over 6 months later. We stayed there for about, I think it was about 3 to 4 years.
But then when you made that journey, it was out of curiosity and adventure.
Absolutely, yeah.
A pure adventure, yeah. And get more experience in different, you know, in Asian food especially, and, you know, and then we basically we came home. We returned home because of personal reasons. You know, Gareth's mother was very ill, and there was also a wedding, a family wedding, so we decided to come home.
You'd also got engaged around that time.
That's
we
right.
did, yeah.
Yeah, we decided to get engaged and married simply because Gareth's mother had Alzheimer's, and we wanted her to remember the day as much as possible.
Of course.
So yeah, we got married, and we decided then just to stay in Ireland for another while.
And Gareth, you went back to college then. You decided to retrain in fine art.
Yeah, I've always had a passion for the arts. I never followed up, and it just seemed like the right moment. So I went back to college while Teresa was looking after her mother. It seemed like the right opportunity. I went to Limerick. Had a really great challenging 4 years in the college in Limerick there, and then I continued to do a 2 years masters in fine art in Dublin.
So Teresa was supporting you while chefing at the same time, but in 2006 you had to give up work to look after your own mother.
Yes, that's right. And I basically went on to carers allowance, and that was our income. And we basically all moved in together into one house, and I took care of her 24/7 until she got a little bit better because she had a stroke. So yeah, that's.
And since then, how have you survived? You know, what are you surviving on, and have you worked at all?
No, I'd kind of worked on and off, you know, but nothing like part-time. I have a 3-year-old that I take care of, and I also take care of my mum at the moment as well. So, you know, basically we're just surviving on the dole. Yeah.
And have been for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So money, it must be very, very tight.
Well, you know, like we said, we were discussing it on the way up in the in the car, and we said, you know, there's no such thing as date night in our house anymore. There's no going out for a meal. There's no cinema. There's none of that. And they're the little things that we do miss.
It's like you know, you have to budget big time, and it's a case of, I'm sure a lot of people do it, whereby you have to make that decision of who's going to get their bill paid this month, you know, and that's just the way it is. It's the juggling, you know.
From a career point of view, of course, you're not in a position to get your H-dip so that you can take up teaching.
No, not at the moment.
And this is another reason why you've considered moving abroad.
Yeah.
So Australia seems to be the destination. You went along at the weekend to the Expo, met this guy.
Yes.
This guy in the white suit.
This story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And handed him, he said, do you have your CV with you? I handed him my CV. He took one flick through it and he said, I want to see you for an interview tomorrow. And all that's gone through my head is who's going to mind the kids and this, that and the other. So, yeah, I went for the interview, and it wasn't, there was 2 people interviewing, and it was very casual and very nice. And basically he offered me the job. So I have accepted. And, you know, we could be in Australia, in Darwin, in 3 months.
Well, it's very exciting, but at the same time I get a sense of a bitter sweetness.
Absolutely. I mean, it's never easy to go away from family, but it's just so far away. It wasn't easy the first time I left for New Zealand. It certainly is not going to be easy this time, and I suppose more so because it's not as if you're going to be able to come back straight away if something was to happen, good or bad. And yeah, that's our biggest fear, but our biggest fear is not having a future for our 2 little kids, and that's more important than anything.
I just think at the moment we're kind of riding a bit of a wave. You know, at the moment it's kind of like, wow, it's great, we're excited, but we do know from experience, like Teresa was saying, eventually, maybe tomorrow, or 2 months' time, whenever it may be, it'll be, oh, okay, you know, the other side will hit you, which will be, we are actually leaving, and we're leaving everyone behind. You know,
Tell us about the job and the new life that they have offered you out there.
Well, they offered me the position. The position that was being offered firstly was a demi-chef, which would be a lower grade than what I'd be used to. And I wasn't kind of happy about that, and I made it quite clear that I'd want to maybe be promoted quite quickly. And he said, you know, there is always room for promotion and development within the company. So I was quite happy with that. And I said, as long as it happens, you know, for a year, within a year. And then when he did ring me and offer me the job, he
Which was just yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. He basically said, you know, I'm offering you a higher grade chef position, and I'm offering you another $7,000. So I was quite happy about that, and it also gave me a lift and a bit more confidence in the whole move.
What will they pay for when you go over now? I mean, are they looking after flights and visas and accommodation? Or?
Well, that's just, you know, the icing on the cake. These people are going to pay for our flights, they're going to pay for all the visas for my whole family.
Well, the fact that you're getting the job will allow your husband to come along and your children too, naturally.
Well, that's
it'll be daddy daycare in the house.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. That's the best thing about it, because going out to whatever was about us returning to New Zealand, we had friends we could count on maybe to mind our kids while we job hunted and whatever. But with this position, you know, I can afford just to go to work, just me, and he can stay home and mind the kids until they settle into their schools and whatever.
And of course, the children aren't at a school-going age just yet, because you're going to arrive into Australia in mid-term.
Exactly.
And you'll have a quality of life that you haven't had here for many years.
For many years. I mean, you know, we think back, you can go back in your own mind to when you could go take a walk on the beach, you know, in between your breaks in work, whereas that could never happen here for all sorts of reasons. But I mean, when we go to Australia, you know, the guy who interviewed me assured me that you can walk on the beach on your way to work.
Yeah, he walks on the beach on the way to work, and
so
he doesn't have to drive, and you know,
everywhere is within walking distance.
I mean, it all sounds idyllic, and we know that
the grass
it won't be. You know, it's not everything's perfect, but on the other side of it, it seems a lot more perfect than what we have at the moment.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
You know,
there's a better life waiting there than is currently in place for you here. It's incredibly sad, though, that you can't find what you're looking for here in Ireland.
And it's not even the weather, Martin, it's not even the work, but it's the future for our children we have to think about. You know, like, it's going to take a while for this little country of ours to recover from the mess that it's in, and I'm not going to, you know, put my country down. I love my country, and it's going to sadden me to leave it.
Absolutely.
But I need my children to have a future.
Do you think you'll stay out there, Teresa, or do you?
If you were to put a time frame on it, I would give myself 10 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know if they're taking on any other Irish people? It's a massive, big 5-star hotel, this, and they're just building a new restaurant.
That's right.
Did many other people get lucky on that day with them, or?
As far as I know, they did, and I'm so excited because, you know, if I go out there and meet someone, I could actually absolutely know them because I worked in Dublin.
Chance,
I worked in Dublin.
So already there's a chance of a good expat community.
Yes. Yeah. Because we speak to people in New Zealand all the time, and they said they can't believe there's an Irish community already in Wellington, even over the last 2 years, which wasn't there when we were there. So it just shows you.
Well, you're a long way from Wellington. You're in Darwin, Australia.
Yes, absolutely.
Where it's a lot warmer.
It's amazing how your life has just changed within just, you know, if you hadn't had got in on Sunday, and you know, none of this would have happened. So you're one of the lucky ones out. But we wish you the best of luck in your new life.
Thank you very much.
And many thanks for coming on today, and hopefully giving a lot of people watching who are in a similar position a bit of hope that they can find something as well.
Exactly.
We'd just like to wish everyone else good luck as well in their chances as well. Out there. If we can do it, everyone else can do it. So.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Now, after the break, I dust down my cúpla focal for Seachtain na Gaeilge.
Plus, we have a look at celebrity rebounds. We'll see if that back here in just a couple of minutes.